Sol, vind och vatten är det bästa som jag vet. Men det är på dig jag tänker i hemlighet.
Hello everyone and welcome to this very summery edition of Beer Sweden TV. By the way, Trev, this isn't anything you can buy in Systembolaget, but it is very important on a hot day like today to moisturise people.
Never use it.
Public service message. Anyway, beautiful weather, people, we've been having here in Sweden, isn't it, Trevor? I know that Trevor's not a sun sort of worshipper like I am. We've got my billabongs on. After the show we're going to be hitting the beach again, so let's talk about what we're going to be drinking today, and that is, well, actually I'm going to ask a question. And the question is, what is Sweden's best lager? Question mark. And when I ask that question, I don't mean any type of lager, I mean Swedish produced lager. I've got three in front of me that I think, for various reasons, could qualify for the title of Sweden's best lager. I'll hold them up for you, Trev. I see that you've actually put them in this very sort of descending, aesthetically pleasing order here. I'm going to go first with the little one. This is Nils Oskar. As my father last week would have pronounced it, God Lager. So this better be good. God Lager. That's from Nils Oskar. The second one is from our good friends at Oppigårds. Zlotta Öl. Got that one, Trev? And finally, the heavyweight, and that is Landsort Lager from Nynäshamn. We're there. So we've got 3 beers to do in 10 minutes, Trevor. Now I know that, how many episodes have we done now? We're up to about sort of 40-ish, yeah? And every time I say that we're going to do 3 beers, you always go, no, you're never going to do 3 beers in 10 minutes. Well, we're going to do it. We've done it before, we're going to do it again. We're going to start left and right with Nils Oskar. I'm going to put these over. Can you see them if I put them here? Give myself a little bit of room. Did you know, Trevor, for instance, that this beer, this is the first beer produced by Nils Oskar under the Nils Oskar brand name? So, a little bit of history there. This is really their big seller, I would suggest, in the Systembolaget. Let's pour this little one up. Have a look at this. Now, this is a beautiful colour. It really is a sort of luminous golden colour. Very attractive. Yes, it's got quite a white sort of head to it. Absolutely what a lager should look like, as far as I'm concerned. Now this this beer is actually a Dortmunder lager style. What does that mean? It means that lagers from Dortmund in Germany were very malt accented, so they had a very significant malt sort of body to them, and that's what it's got in this beer. I think there are 3 different types of malts that's used in here. So what I'm expecting, rather than a sort of very hoppy nose to the beer, is I'm expecting a lot of sort of bready malt. So let's see whether they get that one. Give it a whirl, Trev. Give it a whirl. Bang on form. Yes, you're getting this sort of sweet bread. A little bit of booze, actually. It's is it 5.3%? That's coming through a little bit. So it's quite heady, sort of quite heady breads. A little bit of almost like yeah, sweet breads. A little bit of orange or some sort of citrus fruit coming through too, or peaches as well. Very, very pleasant. Let's try some. It's delicious stuff. It really is. Hasn't got a lot of bitterness to it, actually. The end of the beer. Let's start from the back and work forwards. The end of the beer is pretty boring, I have to say. There's a little bit of snap to it, but not terribly much. Kind of fizzles out. Working into the mid palate. Quite nicely constructed, as all Nils Oskar beers are, to be honest with you. Quite a nice robust middle to it, centre to it. But really it's where the magic happens at the beginning. Sweetness, the malts, they all kick in. It's very thick, quite a thick sort of start to it. So really, I think yeah, starts off well, kind of fades away, disappoints at the end. In terms of scores, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do, Trev. I'm not going to score it right now. I'm going to come back and score them all right at the end. Okay? Next beer, Oppigårds. Let's pour this one up for you. Now, Zlotta Öl. Can you see that one? Now this also uses, this one's slightly, I would say, slightly lighter, paler, sort of Welsh gold colour to it. This one uses 3 different types of malts. It also uses 3 different types of hops too. One of which is a Saz hop, which is a Bohemian hop from Czech Republic now. Very traditional, very spicy, very grassy. The other one is Cascade, which is an American hop. Now, if you've watched the blog and seen some Beer Sweden TV episodes before, you know that I'm beginning to get a little bit tired of US hops in everything. Let's see whether this dominates in this lager. Give it a whirl, Trev. Now, completely different nose. This is more hop accented, absolutely straight away, and yes, it's there. Putting this little hand up in the air, Cascade hop. You can smell it straight away. A bit soapy as well, a little bit soapy, lemon, citrus sorts of aromas to it too. Herby as well. I mean, this is completely different. You've got quite a significant bitterness coming in. It's a kind of weird, odd bitterness too. But I like it. I kind of like it. Quinine, get that as well. Definitely gin and tonic time here, people. Lots of that sort of drying, sort of quinine effect. Odd. Is it drinkable? Yes, for some strange reason it is. I actually think this is far more wow than the Nils Oskar, which I think is solid but a little bit dull. I'm liking this one, Trev. Finally, we are going, look, I'm making a mess, Trev. We're going to Nynäshamn and their Landsort Lager. Now, the one thing I'm going to say about this beer before I go any further, 28 crowns 50. It's a lot of money for a lager. Now, you know, I'm a supporter of craft beers and craft brewers in this country, big time. I think it's worth paying a little bit extra because you get a lot more. I totally believe that. The ingredients are better, the process is more pure, the passion's there, and I'm prepared to put my money where my mouth is and put my hands in my pockets for that. But $28.50, it's a lot of money, Better be good. Let's give it a whirl, Trev. After the Oppigårds, I have to say.
Want to see the colour?
Oh, you want to look at the colour? Now the colour, in terms of the colour, good point, Trev. In terms of the colour, yeah, again, pretty lager-like, really, isn't it? You know, it's I think on parity with the Oppigårds. Nice colour, filtrated, I think, but unpasteurised. Very important, unpasteurised, as are the other beers too. Now, in terms of smell, I'm not really getting a lot. A little bit grassy, a little bit flowery, sort of petally. Other than that, more malt than hops on this one. What it has got straight away, oh, it's quite fruity actually, quite fruity. A start to it, front to it. Lovely carbonation, quite soft. Almost, I'd have to say, Trev, a little bit ale-like in its sort of body. It's got a medium-bodied sort of beer. Dies away a little bit like the Nils Oskar at the end. Gets a little bit less interesting as the flavours wash through the mouth. I'll tell you what, drinkability factor, Trev, absolutely 100%. Drink this all day long. Should be served cold, of course, as most lagers. Between about 7 and 9 degrees, I would recommend. Now, in terms of scores, Trev, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to line them up, and I'm going to go very, very quickly. Nils Oskar, as I said, interesting beginning, malty. If you like malts, if you like sweet malts and that sort of thing, this is the one to go for. If you're not so keen on this sort of aggressive, bitter, sort of hoppy things, I'm going to give it 3.5, okay? 3.5 out of 5. Oppigårds, if you like your hops, this is the one to go for. Got a rather odd sort of drying character to it, but I tell you what, it's good stuff. I'm going to give this, I'm going to give this 4. I'm going to give it 4. Nynäshamn, 28.50, can't get over that. It's lovely, very drinkable, 3.5. All well constructed. Have I just drunk one of Sweden's best lagers? I'm not sure. But I tell you what, all of them are definitely worth checking out this summer. Trev, put your hat on, put your shades on. We're going to the beach. Until next time, people.
Det mesta regnar bort, men nu är den här, så tappar dig. Solen skiner.